Have you ever stopped to reflect on the true power of the Lord's Prayer? Perhaps you have repeated it countless times throughout your life. Perhaps you learned from a young age to recite it in church, before meals, or before bed. But have you ever asked yourself, why this prayer? Why did Jesus choose these exact words? What is the hidden meaning behind each phrase? And what if I told you that within these few lines, Jesus gave us a divine map, a true spiritual battle plan, a direct connection with God? And more than that, the key to unlocking supernatural power over your life. This prayer is not just a collection of beautiful words, a religious ritual that we follow without question. Number it is a powerful weapon, a declaration of war against darkness, a perfect alignment with heaven. The Lord's Prayer is not an ordinary prayer, it is a heavenly strategy. Jesus didn't just say, here is a prayer for you to say before meals. He said, this is how you should pray. Do you see the difference? He gave us a guide, a divine formula to connect with the Creator in a direct and powerful way. And when you understand the depth of this teaching, you will never pray the same way again. Today we are going to dive into the hidden meaning of the Lord's Prayer. We will decipher every word, every phrase, and every revelation that this prayer carries. You will see what most people completely overlook and understand how this teaching can transform your relationship with God. By the end of this video, you will not only repeat this prayer, you will pray it with conviction, with power, and with understanding. And at the end, we will pray together in the way that Jesus truly intended, with full comprehension and total activation of its meaning. If you feel that your prayers do not have the impact they should, if you have ever wondered why sometimes it feels like you are just speaking empty words, stay with me until the end. What you are about to hear may forever change the way you approach God, and more. If you know someone who prays without feeling a connection with God, share this video with them. Before we continue, don't forget to like and comment. This helps spread this message and reach more lives. Now, get ready. Let's begin this spiritual journey. If there is one word in the Lord's Prayer that changes everything, that word is the first one, Father. This word carries an immeasurable spiritual weight. It sets the tone for the prayer. It reveals the essence of the relationship that God desires to have with us. Jesus could have taught his disciples to begin by saying, "O Almighty Lord," or "O Creator of heaven and earth." But no, he chose our Father. And this was not an insignificant detail. It was intentional. It was revolutionary. He was showing us something fundamental. God does not want to be just a distant entity, an unreachable king, or a severe judge. He wants to be a father. He wants an intimate, close, and familiar relationship. Many people have difficulty relating to God because they see him as a distant, impersonal being. Maybe that's how you feel. Maybe you learned that God is too busy to listen to you, that he is hard to please, that he only answers the prayers of holy people. But Jesus came to destroy this lie. When he said our Father, he was teaching us that we have a loving, accessible Father who wants us to come to him with confidence. If you are a father or mother, imagine your child running to you, not because they need something, but simply because they want to be near you. They jump into your arms, hug you, and only want your presence. Would you reject them? Would you say you are too busy? Of course not. Your heart would be filled with joy, because that's exactly what you want, for your child to be close to you. Now, think about this. If you as a human being, imperfect, feel this way, how much more does God, who is the perfect Father, he desires this closeness with you. That's why Jesus began the prayer with Our Father. He was restoring our identity as children. But for many, the word father carries pain. Maybe your earthly father was absent, severe, distant. Maybe he was someone you could never please. Maybe he wasn't even present in your life. And because of that, when you hear the word father, your heart closes. But here is the liberating truth. God is not like your earthly father. He is not flawed. He is not human. He is the perfect father. He is everything your earthly father should have been, but wasn't. The enemy wants you to believe that God is distant, cold, and unfeeling. Because if he can convince you of that, he can keep you from experiencing true intimacy with God. But Jesus destroyed this lie with two words, our Father. And then he adds something even deeper, who art in heaven. Here, Jesus gives us two powerful revelations. First, by calling God our Father, we recognize that we are His children, and this completely changes the way we approach Him. Second, by saying, who art in heaven, we declare that heaven is our home. Our identity is not limited to the earth. We are not just speaking to a superior being, we are connecting with the King of heaven, and that is our final destination. When you pray, you are not just wishing, manifesting, or throwing words into the wind. You are speaking to someone who knows you better than you know yourself, who loves you unconditionally, who already has a perfect plan for your life. And that is exactly why Jesus taught us to pray this way. He wanted us to change our mindset, to stop praying like servants, afraid to bother their Lord, and start praying like children who trust in the Father's love. Jesus lived this truth. He called God Father more than 150 times in the Gospels. He didn't just teach us to say it, He demonstrated it in every moment of His life. In John 11:41-42, before raising Lazarus from the dead, He begins His prayer by saying, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me. That is confidence. That is relationship. And when you understand this truth, your prayers will never be the same. You will not pray as someone who hopes to be heard. You will pray as someone who knows they are already heard. You will not beg for God's attention. You will rest in the certainty that you already have it. This is where the power of prayer begins. So the next time you say, Our Father who art in heaven, don't just say the words, feel them, live them. Let them shape the way you pray. Because this simple phrase declares something extraordinary. You are a child of God. Heaven is your home. And when you pray, your Father hears you. Now, imagine what happens when you understand every detail of this prayer. Imagine the impact of every word on your life. And if you want to continue this spiritual journey, share this video, because perhaps this message is exactly what someone needs to transform their life and reconnect with God. Now, let's live the Lord's Prayer like never before.